Welcome to State of the Offense, your impartial coverage of your favorite team's offense, the Green Bay Packers. Overall, I believe that Packers fans should be relatively optimistic with their offense going forward. Last year, the Packers finished 17th in total yards, 17th in passing, 15th in rushing, and 14th in scoring, which earned them an 8-9 record. At State of the Offense, we cover the entire offensive unit, not just the skill players. We start in the trenches by analyzing the condition of the offensive line. Five-time All-Pro left tackle David Bakhtiari returns to the Packers for his 11th season. He played in 11 games last year and graded at a 93, which was good for fourth best at his position. Bakhtiari is under contract through 2024. Left guard Elgton Jenkins is coming off his second Pro Bowl. He rated at an 86, and he was the number 4 left guard in the NFL. Jenkins also played 87% of the snaps last year in 15 games. Jenkins is under contract through 2026. Starting center Josh Myers is coming off a season where he played in all 17 games for 99.7% of the snaps and graded at a 74, which placed him as the number 16 overall center in the NFL. Jon Runyan graded at a 78, which made him the number 14 right guard in the league. Like Josh Myers, Runyan is entering his third season as a starter with the Packers. He played in all 17 games for a 95.8% share of the snaps, and his contract is up after this season. Returning starter Yosh Nijman graded at a 71 in 17 games played, and second-year player Zach Tom graded out at 73 in 9 games played as a rookie. The two will battle for the starting right tackle position in camp. Zach Tom was a fourth-rounder in 2022, and Nijman is in a contract year. The Packers have a mix of experienced players on the offensive line to complement their young skill position players. If the Packers' young playmakers have success this season, the quality of the offensive line should be a big reason for it. Is it just me, or when Jordan Love replaced Rodgers in the Philadelphia game, didn't you just want Coach LaFleur to just stick with Love? He really looked good in that game against a team that almost won the Super Bowl. To support Love even more, Jordan Love's ESPN QBR was 82.0 as opposed to Aaron Rodgers' 39.3. In NFL passer rating, Love had a 112.2, Rodgers a 91.1. In yards per attempt, Love 9.3, Rodgers 6.8. Completion percentage, Love 66.7, Rodgers 64.6. They say that numbers can be deceiving, but they also say that numbers don't lie. But the numbers do look pretty good for Jordan Love going into 2023. You must also remember that he was drafted ahead of Jalen Hurts in 2020. This guy will be good, but the question is, how good will he be? From a fantasy football perspective, Rodgers was the 12th quarterback in quarterback fantasy points, but he only finished 20th in average points per game. Rodgers is currently the 13th quarterback drafted at the 111 spot, which makes him a 10th rounder. Jordan Love is the quarterback 26th drafted, the 167th player overall, and a 14th rounder. Rodgers was a fantasy quarterback 2 last year in this offense. If Jordan Love played better with the Packers group last year than Aaron Rodgers, and then the fact that he's also more athletic, you shouldn't necessarily draft him 4 rounds after Aaron Rodgers goes. Jordan Love is an excellent value as the quarterback 26. The value of Jordan Love as a flyer quarterback 2 late in your draft has fantasy league winning potential. Love is entering his 4th year in the same system with the same coach with a good offensive line. Needless to say, I'm in the Jordan Love fan club for 2023. The running back situation is stable as the top 2 rushers from the last 2 seasons with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are back again. Aaron Jones outsnapped A.J. Dillon 630 to 537. Jones outcarried Dillon 213 to 186. Jones was targeted 72 times, Dillon 43. Jones is secured through 2024, and Dillon is in a contract year. Both players should have similar numbers to what they had last year, with the continuity of the Packers personnel on the offensive line. Aaron Jones was the running back 8 in total points in PPR formats, and he was number 11 in average points per game. A.J. Dillon was the 32nd running back in total points and number 42 in average points per game. Aaron Jones is currently going as the 14th running back, 36th player overall, which puts him at the end of the third round. A.J. Dillon is the 33rd running back overall, the 107th pick. Jones is a little undervalued as the running back 15, but I think the late third round cost is pretty good. A.J. Dillon in the 9th round is a little high for me. There are some guys like Brian Robinson and Jamal Williams that are drafted behind Dillon that I would draft ahead of Dillon. Christian Watson's breakout was extremely exciting to watch from weeks 10 to 18. His athletic profile is similar to both Calvin Johnson and DK Metcalf. You cannot ignore how big and fast this guy is. NFL corners are smaller and slower than Christian Watson. Romeo Doubs had his moments as a rookie as well. Doubs is generating some off-season hype. After Watson, I think that Doubs and Jayden Reed, who's drafted in the 2nd round from Michigan State, will both have a similar impact. In fantasy, Watson is the wide receiver 19 at pick 57, going in the 5th round. Reed is the wide receiver 70 drafted, and Doubs is the wide receiver 72 drafted. Both would be 15th round picks. Christian Watson is in a tier group of Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen above him, and Chris Godwin and DeAndre Hopkins below him. I think that Watson has as much upside as any of these players. You should gauge the Doubs Reed situation in preseason before deciding on drafting either player. But Doubs will probably be better early in the season, and Reed may catch up to him and pass him as the year goes on. The Packers invested not one but 2 second-day draft picks on the tight end position. Luke Musgrave is an athletic freak, but he did not produce numbers in college, and he was fairly injury-prone. Tucker Kraft was pretty productive at a smaller school. I would not draft either player in a redraft league this year. Musgrave is currently the 31st tight end drafted. There are a lot of unknowns with the Packers group of fantasy players. The most reliable and stable player is Aaron Jones. I think that A.J. Dillon is a little overvalued right now. Romeo Doubs and Jayden Reed could both be good late draft picks or waiver wire pickups. Luke Musgrave has a lot of talent, but rookie tight ends usually don't produce much in fantasy. I believe that Jordan Love will be significantly better than the number 26 quarterback. Jordan Love and Christian Watson both have the potential to be league winner types at their positions in fantasy football. Stacking both of them might bring you some serious prize money in January if you get them both in your leagues and they're both successful. 2023 is a big year for the Packers organization. Moving on from a quarterback, the level of an Aaron Rodgers is a very newsworthy story. The young group of playmakers, Love, Watson, Doubs, Reed, Musgrave, will be the difference between being a middle-of-the-pack team and a good team, because the Packers have an elite defense, a good running game, and a strong offensive line. I believe that the NFC North will pretty much be a very close race where all 4 teams will have similar records to each other. If you like today's coverage of the Green Bay Packers offense, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.